Christian Romero, is he actually going to stay at Tottenham Hotspur? That is the big question on today's Spurs-related video, as we have new sources to suggest actually perhaps he is staying at Tottenham after all the heavy links with Atletico Madrid. And I'm going to take you guys through the latest news from Fabrizio Romano himself that suggests that actually Romero may be more likely to be staying at Tottenham Hotspur than actually leaving. So let's get straight into things, guys. Interesting quotes that came out from Fabrizio Romano on the Give Me Sport YouTube channel today. And he basically said that it's going to be very difficult to pry Christian Romero away from Tottenham this summer, and that Daniel Levy wants to keep the player at the club, as well as Thomas Frank seeing the player as a crucial part of the squad, both technically and in terms of leadership. And of course, Romero did captain the Tottenham side a number of times last season. He is vice club captain. And listen, I think that makes perfect sense, in the sense that if Atletico Madrid were to swoop for Romero, would he play a leadership role at Atletico Madrid? I think not. I think there's far more experienced players in that team that would remain as the leader in Atletico Madrid's team. So that all points towards, if Romero wants to still be a leader within a squad, Tottenham is the right fit. But does, on the second point, he believe in Thomas Frank's new project? Well, I guess time will tell, but I think there'll be some serious conversations between Thomas Frank and Christian Romero and Daniel Levy. And it goes on to say also about Heung-min Son, of course, current club captain, talking of captaincies, that apparently still nothing is decided on the future of Sonny, especially on the players' side, and that Son has to speak with Thomas Frank and then make a decision. And apparently, if Ange was to remain at Tottenham, he would have it would have meant that Son stayed at Tottenham Hotspur. So the other thing that it says in this article is that there's a very strong interest in the player from Saudi Arabia. And of course, I think if you're Daniel Levy and you're thinking, well, Son's only got 1 year left on his contract anyway, do you try and cash in? Do you try and make 30 to 40 million pounds on this player that, you know, let's be honest, is approaching his mid-30s soon? We've seen it. Unfortunately, Sonny's, performances have declined. Age catches up with us all eventually, kind of thing. But I think what's important to understand is it's a cost-benefit analysis, in the sense that, is it worth keeping Son in the dressing room as part of this changeover to the new manager? Is that worth £30 million, or is it worth cashing in? Does Spurs really need that 30 million to boost their transfer budget? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But moving on to the next story today, it was actually about Luka Vuskovic, our young centre-back that has been on loan in Belgium. And he's been in an interview and he's saying he's looking forward to starting things off with Tottenham Hotspur. He said Tottenham is a top club and that it's amazing. He says his ultimate goal is to reach his full potential, and what will be dependent on is myself and my work. He said England is certainly a top league, probably the most attractive in the world, perhaps the most difficult for foreigners coming in, but I'm not afraid of such a challenge. He says Tottenham's a top club. They showed that by winning the European trophy, and my immediate focus is on Tottenham. So it's all positive signs here. And he's also saying Tottenham is amazing. The stadium is unreal. Everything is state-of-the-art, including the training centre, which has 100 pitches, he says. It's a completely different world. I haven't trained with the first team yet, but soon I'll meet all the players. And it's worth noting that Vuskovic had an incredible season, actually, in the Belgian league. He scored a few goals from centre-back, which is incredible to see. So he is actually very good in the air. He's good from set pieces. And I think it's an exciting signing, especially as we do require squad depth at centre-back. So I think it's going to be an interesting one, especially as he's so young. And yeah, all positive quotes from this one. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below again on this one. Vuskovic, are you excited to see him join? And if so, do you think he could potentially even break into the starting lineup at times? I guess especially linking back to the previous story with Romero, if he was to, set his sights elsewhere, potentially Atletico Madrid, would Vuskovic get more opportunities? Well, we're certainly going to be in 4 club competitions next year: Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, and Champions League. So there's going to be plenty need for squad depth. That is for sure. Next one we're going to be talking about is obviously Matthias Tell is, technically the official first signing of this transfer window. We did exert the buy option in the loan to buy. And Thomas Frank has had his say on the Matthias Tell as a player. He said he's very excited about the signing and that he thinks he is a very talented player. And Frank also went on to say he's a very talented player that can play across the front four positions. He's a goal scorer that we can develop even further to be more consistent in his all-round game, but also in terms of goal scoring. And I think that's super important to understand. Matthias Tell, he's shown signs of, he's shown bright sparks last season, but in terms of his, output, obviously we struggled a lot in the league, but he didn't score many goals. So he's looking forward to essentially make him go into the right positions into the box and score more goals, a bit like Brennan Johnson was doing last season. So let's hope we see a second season with Tell, or a first full season with Tell, and his goal scoring and output improves. So yeah, all positive signs on this one as well. And I thought I'd link it back actually, guys, to Mbeumo. Now, although Matthias Tell and Mbeumo are slightly different players, it's important to understand that Thomas Frank has developed players at Brentford to improve their goal scoring. And if we look at this, these stats from Flash Scores here, when Mbeumo came to Brentford was around 2019. You see his first season, 16 goals, pretty decent output, but then he kind of went 8 goals, 4 goals, 9 goals. And then literally last season, he got 20 goals, 7 assists in 38 appearances, and arguably one of the best players in the whole entire league. So what I'm saying is in terms of, output for the forwards, Thomas Frank clearly identifies where they can improve and focuses on where they can get into the box more and tactically how they can be more effective in games. And so I think it's really, really interesting to see that actually, he's mentioned already the fact that he wants to improve Tell's positioning, because clearly Matthias Tell is a very good player. He's very good at dribbling. He's quick. He's explosive. But in order to get more output from him, he needs to be in the correct positions. And I think just by looking at Mbeumo, like I said, not a like-for-like comparison, but certainly, both forwards and both have that kind of those similar characteristics in some respects. So I think it's really super interesting to see, as a comparison, how he does develop these players. I'm sure if I also brought up Visser's performances and outputs, they would also improve over the time that Thomas Frank's managed him as well. So yeah, it's super, super good to see. And one to definitely keep our eye on. Will Tell's output be better? Are you guys happy with Matthias Tell as Tottenham Hotspur's first signing? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, I feel like I went through that pretty quickly. Please do smash a thumbs up if you do enjoy these little news roundups that I'm going to be doing, hopefully daily. Comment below what your thoughts are on Thomas Frank's opinion on Tell, the Vuskovic interview, and of course the Son and Romero news. Do you think Romero is going to stay? Let me know as well on that one. Guys, as I said, going to keep this daily. Please do smash the thumbs up. Let's try and get 50 likes. And I will see you again tomorrow for another transfer news roundup. And as always, guys, remember, come on, you Spurs!